Good evening and welcome to tonight's Undaunted, bringing to the news on church stories. I am Onyi Okbala. Let's begin. Tonight, we delve into a story that shakes the foundations of Cameroon's most powerful institutions. The Société Nationale des Hydrocarbures, a cornerstone of the country's oil industry, finds itself in the eyes of a growing storm. Mounting evidence from recent UK court proceedings has tied the SNH to a widening bribery scandal involving the global commodities giant Glencore. This case shines a glaring spotlight on a pattern of deep-seated corruption, raising urgent questions about who will be held accountable in a nation where such issues have been swept under the rug. As new revelations emerge, the public is left wondering, will this finally be the moment that forces the country to confront its systematic graft, or will those in power once again evade responsibility? But the news in all bleak on the other side of this complex landscape, a major victory is being celebrated by the Ambazonian people, one that could shift the tide in this ongoing pursuit of independence. In a groundbreaking achievement, Komando has been recognized on an international stage, receiving the prestigious title of Civil Diplomat Humanitarian Chaplain from Jethro International in Brazil. This honor marks a pivotal moment not only for Pastor Komando himself, but for Ambazonian's quest for recognition. His elevation to this esteemed role now provides him with a platform that reaches far beyond national borders, potentially amplifying Ambazonia's voice in the global arena. The significance of this appointment cannot be underestimated. With access to a United Nations program and a network of influential international diplomats, Komando is poised to shine a light on the plight of his people. What does this mean for Ambazonian struggle, by the way? And how will this impact your international standing moving forward? This development holds the potential to reshape the conversation on its self-determination and independence on the world stage. Tonight, we'll employ both of these compelling stories on a tale of accountability long overdue and the other a testament to the power of international recognition in the fight for freedom. Stay with us as we unpack the implications of these unfolding events right after the prime headlines.
Stand with Ambazonia. Empower ABC Amba TV. We are calling on Ambazonians around the world to unite and uplift ABC Amba TV, Ambazonian Broadcasting Corporation. In this critical time of war, ensuring the station's survival is more important than ever. But what does ABC Amba TV truly represent for Ambazonia?
At the heart of Ambazonia's war of independence, ABC Amba TV stands as a beacon. Years of recolonization, annexation, and French Cameroon's oppressive occupation of the southern Cameroon's Ambazonia have led to our exclusion. Our identity was hidden, our history distorted, our sovereignty denied. Queen of England is aware that the British Southern Cameroons were never a colony under France.
Since its inception in 2018, ABC Amba TV has been our lifeline.
Months of diplomacy have failed to resolve the crisis as fear grows over an imminent Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Our work in the dark is our chance to tell our stories to the world, to give voice to the voiceless, and broadcast the truth of our struggle.
We are serious about executing this revolution.
It has become a vital arm of our government in wartime, making diplomacy achievable and showcasing our untold stories.
ABC Amba, you guys know how important ABC is for this, our quest for international recognition.
Your donations can make a world of difference. Every bit of support helps keep our stories alive, our presence known, and our fight in the global conversation.
The moment they notice that we are no longer on air, they think that, oh, maybe La Republique has succeeded. This is about Ambazonia. One thing we must always remember.
Where would we be without ABC Amba TV? Let's ensure we never have to find out.
A revolution is a temporary state of insanity to bring about sanity.
Mobilize, donate, stand with Ambazonia. Donate to ABC Amba TV.
Together, let's write the next chapter of our history.
It is better to light the candle than to curse the dark.
Support ABC Amba TV campaign. Ambazonia Independence, voice for the voiceless. Mobilize for change.
Here are the prime headlines. Ambazonian communities in Canada hold protest at Cameroonian embassy, reaffirming commitment to liberation. Tonight on Undaunted, we'll take a look at Catholic Church leaders being called for schooling in Ambazonia, but Ambazonians questions the action to make education accessible to all. Tonight, Glencore and Cameroonian on the news on corrupt cases. Tragic incident involving Colonial police officer and motorcyclist in Ambazonia sparks outrage and a reflection. Tonight, Ambazonian's Komando honored as civil diplomat by Jethro International, Brazil. Meanwhile, the UN Security Council extends Sudan sanctions amid accusations of foreign interference, while Trump's message of America decline resonates with pivotal votes. Now let's get the news info briefings. On the 10th of September 2024, a significant gathering of Ambazonians living in Canada took place outside the Cameroonian embassy in Ottawa, Canada. The protest aimed to rekindle the spirit of unity and determination that existed before the alleged sowing of discord and division by the Cameroonian government. The demonstrators, who included men, women, and children, chanted slogans and carried placards that conveyed their message of resistance against the occupation of their territory. The protest was peaceful, but the passion and determination of the protesters were evident in their voices and action. Let's take a look.
We know that if you were a good person, you could have come out to talk to your
Let my people go, go down, go down, go down to Yaoundé and tell Biya, let my people go.
So we are again here today to tell them, today the United Nations in New York is holding the General Assembly, and the Republic #1 slave that they took from Ambazonia, Philemon Young, is there as a chairperson. That is why we are here today, so that Philemon Young and his cronies should know that we are not with him. Yes. He's not an Ambazonian. If they are taking him there to perpetrate the killings of our people, we don't know you. Go your way. This message will reach you. And we are just telling you, you have a...
Well, through their protest, the Ambazonian community in Canada sent a clear message that they will not tolerate the continued occupation of their homeland, and they will continue to fight for their right to self-determination. The demonstration also heightened and highlighted the impact of the conflict on the Ambazonian diaspora community in Canada, who are equally affected by the ongoing crisis. The protest was seen as a call to action, urging the international community to pay attention to the plight of the Ambazonian people and to support their struggle for liberation. It also served as a reminder that the Ambazonian conflict and war is not just a local issue, but a global one, requiring international attention and intervention. By holding this protest, the Ambazonian community in Canada demonstrated their resilience and determination to continue fighting for their rights. Even in the face of adversity, their message was clear. They will not be silenced, and they will not give up until their homeland is free from occupation. Right, before we move forward, we'll have our in-house analyst, Barrister Mbase here, talk about what he thinks about, this injustice. And of course, the protests, the injustice by Cameroon, and of course, these protests by Ambazonians in Canada.
I beg, come in, come whole house here and go interview now.
Barrister Mbase here, please.
Thank you for having me once more, and thank you for giving the clue. What I can say about the demonstration is that Ambazonians in Canada are doing something which they would never be able to do if they were back home. So demonstrations are virtually banned in Cameroon. But the important thing is, why Canada? Why Canada? We know that in the last 2 years, Canada has taken the central stage, be it under the CDN or something they call pre-talks, organized and supervised by the Canadian Foreign Minister. So Canada has an interest. But what is the purpose of this demonstration? It is not meant to move Yaoundé anywhere, because Yaoundé will not move. The embassy cannot change the policy of Yaoundé at Etrude. But having organized it in Canada, that gives opportunity for the international press, the foreign press, to cover it. And hopefully that the message will, through this foreign coverage, be able to reach the rightful people. You hear them calling the United Nations General Assembly, Mr. Philemon Young. Those are international institutions that are made up of different countries, including Canada. So if the message can get to them through this demonstration, That would be a wonderful thing. But one thing struck me there in the demonstration. These are all Ambazonians, it seems to me. But they're first chanting. What were they saying? Pobia assassin. That's French. Why are they talking French there? Can it be possible that there are other Cameroonians who have joined them in this demonstration who speak French and want to send a message back home? If that is the case, that would be highly commendable. That's a good job. But again, if they are just speaking French because they learn French, they are forced to learn French and to become francophones in Yaoundé, and they today live in Canada, which is also French and English. That's still a good thing. That's kudos to them. So, in the summary, I think the demonstrations are good. They are good that they did it there in Canada. The message is sent through the demonstrations is important. If only we had the influence, we were to have the Canadian press and any other foreign press available in Canada to cover it. Because the international community gets its information from international coverage, reputable newspapers, reputable radio stations and TV stations. So if this can go a little bit beyond that, beyond the embassy for the 4 walls of the embassy, that would be a wonderful job. Thank you, and over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Barrister Ambazia. Although there are several videos, there are some they spoke plain English. So just maybe they were trying to, communicate in several languages just to drive home their message. But we'll definitely follow up with that, with that particular protest, just in case more arises. I will take note of all of these you've mentioned. Now, moving on, we have reports about police extortion. Yes, we have reports about police extortion. Now, a devastating incident has shaken the community in Ambazonia, where a colonial police officer's action led to a tragic chain of events. The officer reportedly seeking to extort a bribe of 500 francs CFA, approximately 0.80 US dollars, from a taxi driver, commandeered a motorcycle from a young Ambazonian rider to give a chase. But in a shocking turn of events, the officer was struck by a bus while pursuing the taxi driver, resulting in his instantaneous death. The incident has sparked widespread outrage and condemnation from the local population, who views the colonial police force as a symbol of oppression and exploitation. Many have taken to social media to express their anger and frustration, calling for an end to the colonial regime's brutal tactics and extortionate practices. The tragic event has also prompted reflection on human cost of the ongoing conflict in Ambazonia. The police officer's death could serve as a poignant reminder that the circle of violence and oppression affects individuals on all sides of the conflict. As tensions continues to escalate, there is a growing need for peaceful resolutions and dialogue to address the grievances of the Ambazonian people. The incident has raised questions about the accountability and conduct of colonial police officers in Ambazonia, with many calling for reforms to address the culture of impunity and corruption within the force. As the situation continues to unfold, it remains to be seen how these tragic events will impact the trajectory of the conflict on the quest for peaceful and self-determination in Ambazonia. Well, the video you're currently seeing is one when his remains were brought back to the station where he operates. And I'm sure his colleagues will be amazed to see how he returned. But then, just like the script said, the violence seems to always take a shocking turn of reverse. Barrister Ambazia, you get violent, take something forcefully, and then gets harassed and gets killed instantaneously. Well, may he so rest in peace. But what would be your thoughts?
My thought is this. You see, it's better for us to rethink what we say. We've made a lot of mistakes. What the policemen are doing there, but before I get there, we don't know where this happened, but wherever it happened, it looks like it happened somewhere in Ambazonia. But the people are speaking English. But that is just the tip of the iceberg. And it takes me to what I was trying to say. What the policemen and the gendarmes and so on and so forth are doing on the road is not bribery. It's not bribery. No. It's extortion and armed robbery. Because if you don't give them the money, they shoot you. Destroy your car. Robbery is something of negotiate something for something in return. The poor drivers and the passengers who travel on the road pay this money for nothing in return. They are forced to pay. You either pay or they lock you up or they destroy your car or whatever thing you're moving in your motorbike. They destroy it with arms. They are doing it with arms, guns, pieces of wood, hammers. That is a definition of armed robbery. Taking money or taking something from somebody with the force of arms. They are armed robbers. As simple as that. Because they are not an armed robber, it's a criminal who would take your life if you don't surrender what he or she wants from you. And in return for that, armed robbers, even in the cartier, when you take a gun to go and break somebody's house, you take the risk of also dying because the house owner may shoot you to death. They may club you and you die. So that is a good price for them to pay. And to show you that they are pure armed robbers, look at the videos again. You see something interesting that has happened. Whatever is the story behind the death of the man, the facts are clear. He wanted to extort money from somebody. The driver ran away, just passed and didn't want to pay. He wanted to chase him. And in that process, an oncoming vehicle hit him and killed him. Those are the facts. But something unusual has happened there. They carried the dead body of an armed robber. If they were an organized police force or an organized security people, you expect them to call their own people to come with their ambulance or whatever thing they have there to rescue their injured or dead friend. But what have they done? They don't even have those things. They forced a taxi guy to carry the dead body of a criminal to their camp. That's an honest civilian car forced to transport that guy to wherever they want him to go. The question you ask is, if they are doing this even officially, what measures have they even in place for their own protection? If they cannot even afford an ambulance that would transport their injured agent, let me just say was injured by a speeding driver or something, they don't have an ambulance to take him to the hospital to show that he is declared dead by their friends. He's not declared dead by any doctor there. So what is the protection that they have as an institution, military institution, a police institution, to do what they are doing? Absolutely zero. Because thieves don't need any organization other than the organization to steal. They force that driver man to carry, that taxi guy to carry the cops. Do you imagine that they wouldn't pay him 500 francs, 1,000 to carry the cops? They wouldn't pay, I guess. Because if we were you and me, and your sister or your brother fight that, you will pay. That taxi guy will tell you, well, it's urgent. Pay 5,000. They don't pay. They force the guy to carry the dead body of a criminal to wherever they wish him to be carried. And he goes away. Bottom line, what they do there all the time, everywhere on the road, be it in Kambe, be it in Moon, be it in Bamenda, Boya, wherever they are doing those things, is pure extortion. It is stealing by use of arms because they have arms for them. And the people are paying not for anything that they want in return. It's not a bribe. It's armed robbery, it's extortion, which is banned internationally. It's supposed to be banned in Cameroon. But since Cameroon is a lawless state, there's nothing being enforced. You're not going to see any gendarme, any policeman, any security officer being charged for doing what they are doing. And I'll be surprised if they will even charge the driver who hit the man and the man died. If the driver did anything wrong, the best thing he will do is to go around and give them 5,000, give them 500, and say, oh, patron, excuse me. That will be the end of it. And so the policeman is dead. I'm sure by the time he dies, his pockets full of 500 francs notes, 1,000
And toward
notes.
end, you would
I
ask.
hope that can help him make a good coffin for himself. I hope his family will survive. But in a sense, the price of violence. Violence begets violence. Extortion begets extortion. And so go and do what you're doing. Many days for the thief, one day for the house owner. If the house owner cannot respond, God will help them. So God help these people. Because after that, the day of that man, at least left that spot and spared the thousands of others who passed there. God help them kill that criminal. And at least they were spared from the extortion for that day from that particular spot. Over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Barrister Mbasia. Now, briefly, we'll just take a look at the Catholic Church leaders' calls for schooling in Ambazonia against all of these insecurities that the Ambazonian government is fighting for. All right. So, panelists criticizes high school fees in the Catholic schools amidst the ongoing war in Ambazonia. So this report says that during a recent radio debate program in Bamenda, a panelist argued that the call for school resumption by the Apostolic Nuncio to Cameroon, Monsignor Josie Avelino, and the Archbishop of Bamenda, Reverend Andrew Nkier, ring hollow due to the high fees charged by the Catholic schools. The panelists, who wish to remain anonymous for security reasons, pointed out that these schools built by offerings from the community have become inaccessible to the common man due to excessive fees. So the ongoing war in Ambazonia has significantly impacted households' income, making it difficult for many to afford the high fees. The panelists questioned why the Catholic Church does not demonstrate concern for the people by reducing fees in their institution. They emphasized that the church's call for effective school resumption and a conducive learning environment would be more genuine if they made their schools more accessible to all, not just to the privileged few. While the panelists urged the Catholic Church and other mission schools to reduce fees, ensuring equal access to education for all, regardless of their socioeconomic status. Only then, they argued, will their call for a return to school be truly meaningful? And so the panelist is also suggesting that it could just be that they are seeking for funds because of the no resumption and, of course, the national lockdown declared by the Ambazonian government, not because they genuinely care. After all, their school fees are high in Ambazonia. All right. Barrister Mbasia, would you want to say a thing or two in that particular report?
I'm sorry that I didn't watch the panelists discuss what they discussed. But I think if the summary of what you say is what they discussed, I'm sure the panelists missed so many things. The core of resumption of schools, I think, has nothing to do with school fees. As simple as that. Because talking about school fees paid by Catholic schools throughout Cameroon, or only honor mission school, let me just deal with Catholic schools. The Apostolic Pronuncio, who is a Vatican ambassador, at least in Yaoundé, and Archbishop Andrew Nkier, who owns his own diocese, called the Diocese of Bamenda, they have no influence over the school fees that are paid throughout Catholic schools in Cameroon in general. Andrew might have an influence over the Catholic schools in Bamenda, but he has no influence over Catholic schools, for example, in Buea Diocese. Neither does he have influence over Catholic schools in Kumba Diocese, in Kumbo Diocese, in Manfred Diocese. No. I've had the opportunity to say this last 2 days ago. Those different dioceses have different education secretaries that deal with their schools. Even in Bamenda, all the Catholic schools, especially secondary schools, they don't have a diocesan school fees. No? If you go to Sacred Heart, you might pay something different from someone who goes to Our Lady of Lords. And so there's no standard for that. That should not be our concern. Because Catholic schools, just like any other private schools, are private. You choose to go there if you want, and you pay the fee depending upon your choice. They are there, they should be encouraged to be there, to encourage competition, so you can send your child to where you go. To the best of my knowledge, until recently, I think it is still going on. Schools like Sacred Heart Mancon, they would not even have enough space for people. People are coming in and fighting to take space. Like in my own place, City of Wisdom, those days, there was not enough space. Why? Because they had proven that they were highly competitive. They pay for what you want. That should not be our problem. Their overall call for return to school should not be mixed up with the fees they will pay to go to school. Even they said today that if all children should go to school and all Catholic schools should be free, we as this government will still oppose them. Because our concern is not the fees to pay. Our concern is the security of the children. So it's not the question of fees. Otherwise, why are they not going to government schools, which are purely free, were supposed to be free? So the debate is not about how much you pay for the school. The debate, as far as education is concerned, is whether, given that environment where the bishops and the archbishops were talking, is the environment conducive for education, be it in Bamenda Diocese, Archdiocese, be it in Kumbo, be it in Kumba, be it in Manfred or in Boya? The answer is no. Whether you are paying 100,000 or 1 million, or you are paying 10,000 or 500, the security is not yet there. As simple as that. So again, the cardinal does not have the authority, financial authority, to sit in Yaoundé and say, I'm the Vatican ambassador. All Catholic schools will cost 50,000. You cannot do that. He doesn't have the authority. The Archbishop of Bamenda doesn't have the authority to sit in Bamenda and say, well, my archdiocese, which includes 5 dioceses, every school here, they will pay 50,000. He doesn't have that capacity. He probably doesn't even have the capacity to fix the fees paid in Sacred Heart Mancon or the fees paid in A Lady of Lourdes. These are all in town. So coming to fees, that is what it should be. We should address the real issues. The real issue has not been the people not being able to pay school fees. The issue has been there is no security for the children. And I remember at the start of this in 2017, when the people was there, I remember, unless I'm making a mistake, the son of Atanganji was in Sacred Heart Mancon. And because of the insecurity, he came and withdrew his child from there. I ran away with the child to Yaoundé. It was not because of money, because Atanganji has money, but because of the security that was posed there. And again, still in 2017, I guess, or 2019, we saw the government organize a fake cleaning of schools. One of the schools that they went to clean, they bought Mokwata, Cutlass, to go and clear the campus of Sacred Heart Mancon. That was a Catholic school, to pretend to show no mercy, which was not there. So again, the panelists, I'm sure, missed something. As far as the bishop's call and the lockdown is concerned, it is not about school fees. If the school fees, it is about the security of the children. It is about the total unfriendly environment, unfriendly environment to schooling. And so that's it. If we venture on the other thing, like school fee, salary, it will take us nowhere.
Barrister Ambasia,
Over to you.
that's what the panelists were saying in that particular radio interview, that instead of them to consider, or better still, if they are considering the security of their students, they would not be calling for school resumption, but they are basically considering the gains of the high school fees rate they charge in the Catholic schools. And so they are calling for resumption, for school resumption in Ambazonia. I don't know if you get me now. So the panelists are saying that these Catholic schools are only interested in the funds that they make, not even in the insecurity, because if they care about insecurity, as it were, and all of the push out there for schools and students to be safe and teachers to be safe, they will not be calling for school resumption at this point. But rather, they are calling for school resumption because they are interested in the gains they make from their high rate of school fees. That's just the back and forth of the report.
I understand that argument very, very well, but I don't buy into it. I'll never give you a concrete example. In my earlier statement, I said what a school called Seed of Wheat and Fontaine, that's a Catholic school. It belongs to the Diocese of Manfe. It has been closed from day one since 2017. It has been closed. They have tried to open the school, but there's so much insecurity and nobody is going there. The community of the BLM and friends have opted to pay fees for children who want to go there. The campaign is ongoing right now. We'll pay you fees. You don't pay anything. Maybe if you don't pay anything to the bishop. We, the community, will prepare to sponsor you to go back to school. It is not yet succeeding. So the issue is not money. Why is it not succeeding? Because no parent is prepared to send his child there, even if you are sitting in the United States and say, okay, the fees is 500,000, I pay. The guy will say, no, I'm picking on a good day. Because 500,000 that you pay for the fees or whatever amount is not worth the life of the child. So let us emphasize what is important. I'm not very sure, but I believe personally, with evidence, the bulk of the Catholic schools in Cameroon generally, they are non-profit making. They're not making money to go do something. If you got some money there and access, they will put up a building in that school. They will do something there. They are not making like government school where people will steal money and go and build their private houses. So in general, missionary schools, be they Catholics, Presbyterian or Baptist, they are non-profit making. They are investment for the community. And most religious schools, most religious schools, where a partnership between the community, the village community, and the missionaries, whether it is Baptist, whether it is Presbyterian or Catholic. No, the missionaries came in. They said, want to put a school. The people gave the land. That was the only contribution. They said they want to build houses. They went and cut the sticks if it was sticks. And so it was a community thing. The school was starting from one. People would pick the stones or mold the blocks or go to Form 2. And if there was any profit there, you will find that the school perhaps put a dispensary that will save the community. So mission schools in general are not like private lay schools where somebody wants to invest and get some money out of it. They pay the money. But to the best of my knowledge, I've not seen anywhere where any money has been collected from any Catholic institution in Cameroon, for example, and taken to the Vatican. They don't do it. Rather, you will find that, call it Sacred Heart, call it a Baptist, whatever. Those schools are opened by foreign missionaries. They brought money from abroad, contributed by Christians, and opened the schools. So if we even had money, we'll probably have another missionary school somewhere else in the world, which is not capable. So you have this. Missionary schools are not money making. They are non-profit. They're non-profit. And again, especially with the Catholic schools, there's no Catholic bishop, there's no Catholic priest or archbishop or cardinal who has children of his own. They don't get married. So he's not going to steal money to go and pay his child fees. Yes, there could be something going wrong. If I have an uncle there, they might send my child there because I know him. But overall, their interest is not to make money. Again, there's no fixed standard. To conclude, for example, as we speak, there's a Catholic university in Bola, where people are fighting to go there. There's another Catholic school, a Catholic university in Bamida, Katuk. Those two schools, they don't have the same fees. They're all Catholics. Depending upon what you want to go and do there, they tell that you pay this, we employ the staff, we'll get computers. If you want to come, you pay. If you don't like it, why not go to the University of Bola? If you don't like it, why not go to the University of Bamida? If you don't like it, like in Cameroon, go to the University of Adjourned or anywhere else. So let us leave the financial aspect and deal with what is important. The bishops, again, importantly, the Cardinal Vatican ambassador could not and cannot tell you to reduce fees in Okoyom, in St. Beats, in Sacred Heart. He doesn't have that power to do that. So it's not the money which is part of it now. It's just security. That's our point. That the environment is not good, but we leave this to the children, to the parents. If you want to send your child to Sacred Heart or St. Bede's or any other mission school, which is a million francs, I think it's safe. Go and do it. If you can afford the money, go and do it. That is what is meant by free enterprise. Choose what you want to do within your own means and do it. That's all about that.
All right.
That's my
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Barrister Ambasia. All right, tonight on Undaunted, we have an August visitor. I'm not sure he has been part of Undaunted before, but you know what they say about giving honor to who honor is due? Yes, that is what we will be doing, especially on tonight's Undaunted. And so, a great Ambazonian activist has been recognized on the global scene. Are we excited? Yes. But we know that this particular recognition and this particular award will mean so much for the Ambazonian people. And so on this note, we say congratulations to our very own Pastor Komando. But before we get talking to Pastor Komando, I'm sure you've seen him on the screen here since we started tonight on Undaunted. We have this particular report about, the award that was given to him by Jethro International, which is in Brazil. So we will definitely get into a very brief discussion with Pastor Komando right after this particular report that Star Smart did specially for Pastor Komando and their award.
Oh yes, Oni. Good news, reaching Undaunted reveal yet another Ambazonian in the diaspora making strides. Some months ago, we were here celebrating the wins of Dr. Martin Mungwa, Fellow of the American Society of Civil Engineers, on his global recognition. And now in a remarkable achievement for Ambazonia. Ivo C. Komando, popularly known as Pastor Komando, has been honored with the prestigious title of Civil Diplomat Humanitarian Chaplain by Jethro International. Well, this recognition, awarded on July 4th, 2024, elevates Pastor Komando to a global platform where he can now contribute to fostering peace and humanitarian efforts worldwide. This honor highlights both the strides Ambazonians are making internationally and the significance of their work towards global peace and advocacy.
That's it.
José Marcelo do Nascimento, 7875.
A little backstory on Jethro International, which is first a global peace organization. Jethro International is an esteemed global organization dedicated to promoting peace, resolving conflict, and providing humanitarian support, operating in over 190 countries. Jethro International grants the title of civil diplomats to individuals who have demonstrated a commitment to peace and humanitarian values. These diplomats are recognized much like political diplomats, with the distinction that their focus lies in addressing crisis, conflict, and disasters in a non-partisan humanitarian capacity. Their interventions are often crucial in situations where impartiality is needed to mediate disputes or resolve conflicts without favoritism. Now, by becoming a civil diplomat humanitarian chaplain, Pastor Komando joins a respected international network of peace ambassadors, including other influential figures in humanitarian efforts. With this title, he gains the ability to engage with governments and key decision makers in over 190 countries that recognize the Jethro International. Now, his new status also affords him the privilege of accessing United Nations programs as an observer, amplifying his ability to bring global attention to pressing issues. This achievement is particularly significant for the Ambazonian cause. As a newly minted civil diplomat, Pastor Komando can leverage his platform to advance awareness of Ambazonians' ongoing crisis. His diplomatic status gives him a voice in international forums where he can advocate for peace, justice, and humanitarian assistance in regions affected by conflict, especially his own home country, Ambazonia. Now, Jethro International is closely aligned with the Martin Luther King peace movement, an organization rooted in the ideals of nonviolent activism and social justice. This connection reinforces Jethro International's credibility and its commitment to advancing global peace initiatives in line with the principles of equality and human dignity championed by Martin Luther King Jr. Now, for Pastor Komando, this affiliation opened doors not only to global peace missions, but also to building strategic partnerships that can strengthen the Ambazonian struggle for liberation. As an advocate for peace, Pastor Komando's role as a civil diplomat allows him to contribute meaningfully to resolving conflict and promoting the welfare of marginalized communities worldwide. And what better country to start from if not his own? A lot we're anticipating. Well, Pastor Komando's achievement is a shining example of Ambazonians in the diaspora making impactful strides on the global stage. Like other Ambazonian figures who have achieved similar recognition, he is committed to using this new status to further the Ambazonian struggle for liberation. His appointment reflects the increasing involvement of Ambazonian leaders in international humanitarian and peace-building efforts, bringing global attention to the Ambazonian cause and the challenges that they face. Now, by aligning with organizations like Jethro International, Ambazonian leaders can present their case on global platforms, ensuring that the plight of their people is recognized and addressed by the international community. This recognition marks a significant step forward for Ambazonia, as Pastor Komando's diplomatic role offers the potential for greater visibility and advocacy on the global stage. Pastor Komando's recognition by Jethro International as a civil diplomat humanitarian chaplain is not just an individual accomplishment, but a milestone for the Ambazonian movement. His appointment signifies the growing influence of Ambazonian leaders in global peace and humanitarian efforts, offering a platform for international advocacy and dialogue. Now, through his new role, Pastor Komando is poised to make significant contributions to global peace while also advancing the Ambazonian cause, ensuring that the struggle for liberation remains at the forefront of the international attention. Now, that is some good news from here. Over to you now, Onyi.
All right, thank you so much, Star Smart, for that amazing report there. So, like I said, we have an August visitor in the house today. Pastor Komando, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so we want to find out, how does it feel like being recognized amongst other world leaders? How do you feel about this recognition?
Only to be very candid with you, it's not just the recognition, but a confirmation of the job that I have been doing, even without this particular confirmation that has been carried out. So to me, it is a mission fulfilled from the beginning.
Okay. So how did you get here? You just mentioned about the jobs you've been doing. Can you enumerate just for others who might not be privy to all of the amazing things you've been doing from Brazil, crying out loud, having all of your programs just to ensure that the world gets to hear the struggles of Ambazonians. Can you just tell us a bit of all of the things that you've been doing to get here?
Yeah, as a pastor, coupled together with my activism in truth, because I believe that God, who created the heavens and the earth and created man free, absolutely wants us to live as free agents that he has created in obedience to his laws. I want to say that every nation under heaven has a universal international constitution, which is the Bible, before their own constitutions. And if every nation was absolutely following up what is in their constitution, will have a very peaceful lifestyle and atmosphere without people killing one another. And as a Southern Cameroonian Ambazonian, I discovered that there are a lot of truths that are being hidden. And when I got into seeing what the Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians are going through, I decided to team up with my president, whose ideology is not to have anybody killed, either from La Republique du Cameroon or from Ambazonia. He has been advocating for a roundtable sit down so that we can discuss our differences. We are in the 21st century, and going around to be killing one another is uncalled for. And we have discovered that a lot of people are sincerely making business out of the blood of innocent people that are being killed. But with the philosophy of my president, Dr. Samuel Sakwe Kome, he has been advocating, let us sit around the table. And who can sit around the table? Those who believe in what Jethro International is all about, an organization that recognizes people who don't want to go with force, but who want to go with discussion. And so in Brazil and other places that I've been able to go, I have invited and spoke to the people, giving our motto, which is peace. And this peace can only come when there is justice. And the justice stems from the point that Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia did not have and was not a part of La Republique du Cameroon when they were having their independence. Independence of La Republique du Cameroon, 1st of January 1960, decreed and commissioned by Resolution 1349 of the United Nations General Assembly. 1st October 1961, the independence of Southern Cameroons decreed by the United Nations Resolution 1608 on the 21st of April 1961. Now, if these two nations had two different dates of independence, what is difficult to bring them together and find out what is going on? And so my being called into and given this prestigious position to be a civil diplomat, not to go into war, is to get these people come together and sit down and discuss issues that will make people to live in peace, which is the subject matter of Jethro International. Thank you.
It's very interesting there. Now you'll be sitting amongst world leaders just like you've always been doing. You'll be traveling, I mean, to several countries. You'll be representing, and you'll be talking about so much about peace and all of that. So how will this benefit the Ambazonian people? Because I mean, I'm sure that all of this is also geared towards your people, the Ambazonian people. You're talking about peace. You're talking about not taken by force. You're talking about discoursing, dialoguing. So how will this, this recognition, you're traveling, I mean, it's going to be a whole lot of diplomatic moves there. How will that, favor the people of Ambazonia?
Of course, charity begins at home, the saying goes. And so, Jethro is not only for Ambazonia, but as an Ambazonian, I think that I would play a very big role to meet my colleagues who are out there to let them know that the situation in my country is not a situation to kill one another. No, we don't accept it. It's a situation to sit down and discuss. And so I will be taking these resolutions that the big bodies like United Nations, like the Geneva Conventions, like other bodies in the world that absolutely and actually want peace to progress, that they have been struggling to do. So I will join my own expertise and join them for us to do exactly what is supposed to be done. And of course, beginning from my own country, because I wouldn't keep quiet. There are so many other African countries that are going through some of these things, and we can sit down and decipher what is really the root cause. Because people who are guilty, like, of course, the Republic of Cameroon, they are so afraid to come to the table because they know if they come to the table, and of course, it's not only the Republic of Cameroon, we know that France is behind all of that. And we know that when we come to the table, there will be a peaceful separation, a peaceful agreement to take a pathway that nobody will die. That is our greatest plea and our greatest cry and solicitation, that nobody should be taken out of this world when it is not his time. That is our motto. And that's what I'm going to pursue as I begin to travel to make contacts with other people that have the same, they are in the same position like I am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pastor Komando. Big congratulations to you there, and I'm sure that Ambazonians worldwide will be celebrating too. And so, this is a good step in the right direction, and would know that more awards and more recognitions and more, more of these will definitely come. Pastor Komando, we'll allow you to go now. We still have a few more reports would have to dialogue and analyze with Barrister Base here. But from all of us here, from the Undaunted ABC Amba TV studio, we say congratulations, a gigantic congratulations to you and yours on this amazing recognition and awards.
Thank you, and have a wonderful evening. God bless.
All right, Ambazonians, coming up next is the corruption within La République du Cameroun. Now, the corruption within the La République du Cameroun continues to unravel as recent developments around the Société Nationale des Hydrocarbures further exposes the deep-rooted nature of graft in the country. The NSH, the Cameroon's national oil company, has long faced accusations of complicity in the Glencore corruption scandal, one of the largest global bribery cases of the century involving the multinational commodity traders. Despite NSH past claims of innocence, evidence points to their active participation in a scheme that epitomizes the pervasive corruption within La République du Cameroun. In earlier developments, whistleblowers Barrister Keremuna, former president of the Cameroon's Bar Association, called out NSH lack of transparency and failure to act decisively against Glencore. When the scandal first broke 2 years ago, NSH staunchly denied any involvement, citing internal controls that supposedly prevented corruption. Yet, as more details emerge, particularly from the UK investigation, revealing the names of former Glencore employees involved, the SNH narrative began to unravel, prompting Muna to depend and demand a suspension of dealings with Glencore and a full investigation into local collaborators. NSH refusal to fully disclose information or take tangible action only deepened suspicions of a cover-up. The recent revelations have further solidified these claims as the trial of Glencore executives commenced in the UK in September 2024. The SNH attempted to shift blame, stating that they have been closely following the hearings and had previously requested Glencore to reveal the identities of any SNH officials implicated in the affair. However, Glencore rejected these requests, citing an anonymity clause with the Serious Fraud Office, the British agency investigating the case. NSH, for its part, claims to have frozen all dealings with Glencore since May 2022. But the damage had been already done. The company's delayed actions and continued deflections highlights the lack of accountability within the Cameroon's institutions, which also heightens the corruption rate. The SNH complaints to the Special Criminal Court in November 2023, by the way, which remains unresolved, appears to be a calculated move to save face amidst mounting international scrutiny. They continue to project an image of ethical responsibility, reiterating their supposed commitment to fairness and patriotism. However, the stark reality is that corruption runs deep within La République du Cameroon's fabric, and SNH's involvement in the Glencore scandal is only the latest example of how state institutions enable and perpetuate such practices. The repeated failure of La République du Cameroon authorities, including the SNH, to act decisively, to take responsibility or address these scandals with genuine transparency underscores a systematic culture of impunity. The Glencore affair exposes how corruption is not just an associated or isolated event, but deeply ingrained in the governance structures of La République du Cameroon, from economic dealings to judicial processes. SNH mishandling of this case demonstrates the extent to which corruption is normalized within the country's institutions, highlighting the urgent need for widespread reform. The question we are asking tonight, Barrister Tim Basier, is when is this reform ever going to happen? I mean, this case has been long overdue. We're talking about 2 years. 2 years of going round and round the circles. 2 years of neither here nor there. But then we see the corruption eaten deep within. Barrister Basier, I ask again, how long would this reform take? Let's hear your thoughts.
If ever anything happens, from my own perspective, I'm not sure that anything will happen. And this is why. The idea of Glencore, we all agree, is corruption. But Glencore has two aspects of it. We know that in ordinary language, corruption is a crime. If you corrupt someone, you face criminal charges anywhere in the world. But Glencore was essentially an economic crime that downgraded the price of the gas that we shipped out by 70%. And so we're selling something, for example, for $30, which should have been sold for $100. That's purely economic. Glencore did not involve only Cameroon. We are told it involved Nigeria, it involved Gabon, and other oil-rich countries around Africa. Those other countries have since civilly recovered what they were entitled to. So, well, we lost $70, just give us 65 and we close the file civilly. And that was over. You have not heard about any prosecutions in Nigeria or in Gabon or any other African country. But Cameroon refused to do anything. First, they denied responsibility, and rightly so. Anybody who stands accused, you have to prove the accusations against someone, especially a criminal offense. And the mistake Akeremona made, you might have to look at it down the road. The mistake Akeremona made, very fundamental mistake, was that he thought that he could handle this thing civilly and criminally. That's why he reported the matter to the, the criminal court in Yaoundé. What's the purpose of it? For the court to punish those who are corrupt. And no court in Cameroon is going to punish those people who are involved in Glencore. Maybe Akeremona did not see this. Why? Because Glencore was dealing with Sonara, SNH, and the presidency. Akeremona and many people forgot that Sonara, SNH, and the presidency are one single family, blood family, and economic family. You will not work in Sonara, even as a sweeper, unless your job was approved by the presidency. You will not work in SNH unless it is approved by the presidency. All the money that comes out of Sonara from the sale of oil and shipped out by the SNH is accountable only to the presidency. And the presidency, as we know today, is a family of people related by blood and other things. They are not going to self-prosecute themselves. No way. They are not going to self-prosecute themselves. The court to which Mr. Akeremona took the complaint to is a court created by the presidency. The judges are named by the president, by the presidential decree. I expect those judges to prosecute the president. Well, say the money, the links are within the presidency. Who knows where the money went to in the presidency? Did it go to Ngongo? Did it go to Paul Biya himself? Did it go to his wife? Or to his children? His children, the children of Paul Biya, fly in private jets from the oil money. That's a fact. No matter how you dislike Mr. Paul Biya and his children, will you want, if you were Paul Biya, will you prosecute your own daughter, your own son, Frank, yourself, and send him to jail? It will not happen. And I remember seeing Akeremona reporting officially that when he last checked about what was happening with the fire, he checked with Sonara, and he was informed that all the documents, everything pertaining to Glencore, has been transferred to the presidency. Full stop. That's the end of it. And so nothing will happen to these people. They are criminals. Why will it not happen? Because even if we don't doubt that there was corruption, but for you to successfully prosecute those people who were corrupt, you need the evidence, the witnesses from Glencore to come to a court, not in England, not in America, but to go to a court in Cameroon and say, well, we'll give $10,000 million or whatever amount to A, B, C, D. It's a criminal case and subject themselves to cross-examination. They're not going to do that, and they put it there. They have raised the issue of privacy. We're not going to reveal the names. And so how will you ever prosecute them? Even if you sit there in England and say you're prosecuting them and they call it A received $1 billion for bribe, C received $5 billion for bribe. And you try them there, say, I'm trying them in England. Your trial has no meaning because you're not going to come and catch them from Cameroon and take them to jail, supposing that they were guilty. You're not going to do it. So Glencore is one of the many other things that is Cameroonian. It's graft, state theft. My concern all along, and my serious concern with Mr. Akeremona is, yes, they sold the oil for $30 instead of $100. What happened to the $30 that they took from that oil and the gas? Mr. Akeremona is not asking for transparency. He owns a organization called Transparency International. He's not asking for that. Otherwise, Muna will question, let them be transparent with the accounts of Sonara in the Cameroon budget. Let them tell Diane from which this oil comes. What is their royalties for having this oil? Akeremona is not questioning this. That's not his problem. He's not looking for transparency. No. He's looking to do justice where he cannot do justice. Just give him the blanket check of being an harassment. There's no way Akeremona will prosecute the presidency in Cameroon. Be it Ngongo, be it Chantal Biya, be it Brenda Biya, be it whoever in the presidency there. Mr. Akeremona cannot prosecute them. Even Mr. Akeremona is the best lawyer in the world and takes them to a court in Cameroon. No court will convict Paul Biya's daughter or Paul Biya's son, Ongo, on the complaint filed by a certain Akeremona, the renegade Ambazonian who has adopted himself as a Cameroonian. No, it's not going to happen. They can make all the noise. The only thing they could do was to benefit civilly. If Cameroon had been willing to get their own share, they would have simply say, well, these people cheated us. Yeah, they say they have ended the links with Glencore since 2022. That is true. But the issue is what happened to the oil that they shipped from 2014 to 2022, almost 10 years, and wanted the price. It had gone, since Glencore had confessed to it, Glencore could have paid them the loss in civil claims, whole or in part, because they have pleaded guilty, they did it. But they refused to go out for it. Yes, even if the money came, Cameroon has lost. Let us put it Cameroon. That Cameroon includes us, Ambazonia. They include India. All the ones that they took, which was not stolen, they did not succeed in constructing a single kilometer of road in India. Not even one. I don't want to talk about Ambazonia as a block. Nothing went to India where the oil comes from. An Indian son is not even a chef de bureau in that nonsense. They call Sonara or SNH. Zero. And so that is the end of it. It will end there. If at the end of the day they will give any money, if at all they do give anything, it will go to the same gang of people. Let them give a billiard. It will go to the presidency, where Mr. Akeremona or you or me, anybody cannot go there to follow up to see this is how the money was spent. They will steal it. They have been stealing like that since 1975. And so that's Glencore. It was their creation to steal. Unfortunately for them, it has leaked. But who else in Cameroon other than Mr. Akeremona is raising the Glencore scandal as an issue in politics in Cameroon? How many have been raising it? Nobody. You see all these things on the Quinoas, MRC, and all those political parties. That is not a big problem to them because they know that fraud, corruption is legalized in Cameroon. So a single Akeremona fighting with all the rifles, fighting with all the drones that he had, the legal drones and the legal, whatever you call it, jets, he's not going to bring down the mighty, impossible, corrupt enterprise of the presidency of Cameroon. Neither will it bring down the whole system. It's a waste of time. It's a discussion. Again, where is the justice from there where the oil comes? Whatever thing has come into it. Where is the justice for Ambazonia? Call it Southern Cameroon, for this oil that they have exploited over the years. So it's a waste of time. Thank Mr. Akeremona for doing that. Akeremona has at least a platform that if you gain something from Cameroon, other nations around the world will hire him. And so similar cases come up. That's his benefit. Those are his skills. But again, as homework, if Mr. Akeremona wants to deal with transparency, let him ask Yaoundé, let him ask Sonora, let him ask SNH to be transparent with whatever thing has come in for the benefit of the people, the benefit of the people of Indian in particular, and the benefit of Ambazonia in general, if not Cameroon. Short of this, he's not doing a good job. Over to you.
All right, and of course, you know that when we have topical issues like this, it's automatically means that it's going to, escalate into Saturday when we have Ambazonia today, and that's not just the only topic. You know, the report on Martinez Zogo's murder trial. That trial has been up and coming for a long while now. It says the 17 suspects plead not guilty. Trial adjourned to September 30th. All right, so the highly anticipated trial of 17 suspects accused of murdering journalist Martinez Zogo commenced at the Yaoundé Military Tribunal, with all defendants entering not guilty pleas. Presiding judge, Colonial Jean Jacques, ordered their arraignment after a 6-hour debate dismissing additional preliminary objection raised by defense counsel. Notable among the accused are business magnates Jean-Pierre Amogo Belingua, former head of the military intelligence unit Maxime Eko, and the unit's operations head Justin Dawa. The trial had been delayed since March due to defense objections challenging legal procedures, which were subsequently overruled by both military and the appellate court. Although the court did not proceed to full submissions from the prosecutions and defense, the defense lawyers requested an adjournment to better prepare their case. The defense team, initially united, has now split, presenting varying arguments. Counsel for Maxime Eko stated, "We will present to the court all forms of human rights violations in the case against our clients and demonstrate that the law was not respected." Charles Chongang, attorney for Jean-Pierre Amongo Belingua and former bar counsel Preston, emphasized that law seeks to determine who assassinated Martinez Zogo. The trial has been adjourned to September 30th, 2024 for continued hearing. All accused are to remain in pre-trial detention at the Kondengui maximum security prison. So this report as well, we will delve it into deeply, analyzing all forms of the legal proceedings, as we would have Barrister Tim Basie and, of course, Barrister Fu on Saturday on Ambazonia this week to expand, dissect, and, of course, analyze the beats and crannies of that particular report, and as well as the Glencore report. It's been an amazing evening with Barrister Basie and, of course, Pastor Komando, but due to the time frame of our report this night, we'll definitely call it a night. But Barrister Basie, I promise that on Saturday, when we have enough time, there is no draft, and so when we have enough time, we'll delve into the analysis of this particular report of Martinez Zogo, and of course, go deeper into Glencore. Would want to know how 17 of them would fare in the Martinez Zogo. But, you know, our time is way first spent on tonight's Undaunted. Thank you so much for being part of tonight's Undaunted, Barrister Basie. Come Saturday, we'll do all the justice we need to do when we come to this report, and we come again on Undaunted. But until then, I mean, on behalf of all of the team that has ensured the success of tonight's production, is good night and God bless.
Thank you for having me.
Stand with Ambazonia. Empower ABC Amba TV. We are calling on Ambazonians around the world to unite and uplift ABC Amba TV, Ambazonian Broadcasting Corporation. In this critical time of war, ensuring the station's survival is more important than ever. But what does ABC Amba TV truly represent for Ambazonia?
At the heart of Ambazonia's war of independence, ABC Amba TV stands as a beacon. Years of recolonization, annexation, and French Cameroon's oppressive occupation of the southern Cameroon's Ambazonia have led to our exclusion. Our identity was hidden, our history distorted, our sovereignty denied.
Queen of England is aware that the British Southern Cameroons were never a colony under France.
Since its inception in 2018, ABC Amba TV has been our lifeline.
Months of diplomacy have failed to resolve the crisis as fear grows over an imminent Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Our work in the dark is our chance to tell our stories to the world, to give voice to the voiceless and broadcast the truth of our struggle.
We are serious about executing this revolution.
It has become a vital arm of our government in wartime, making diplomacy achievable and showcasing our untold stories.
ABC Amba, you guys know how important ABC is for this, our quest for international recognition.
Your donations can make a world of difference. Every bit of support helps keep our stories alive, our presence known, and our fight in the global conversation.
The moment they notice that we are no longer on air, they think that, oh, maybe La Republic has succeeded. This is about Ambazonia. One thing we must always remember.
Where would we be without ABC Amba TV? Let's ensure we never have to find out.
A revolution is a temporary state of insanity to bring about sanity.
Mobilize, donate, stand with Ambazonia, donate to ABC Amba TV.
Together, let's write the next chapter of our history.
It is better to light the candle than to curse the dark.
Support ABC Amba TV campaign. Ambazonia Independence, voice for the voiceless. Mobilize for change.